Hey guys, thanks very much for tuning in again. As you can see, I have my lovely assistant with me, my 7-year-old daughter. And so that must mean only one thing, another hair video. Yes. And with that, in my first video, very important, detangling, brushing out, right? So the first tip in order to do a braid, which is what we're going to learn today, in order to make a braid, you must brush the hair out. No knots, no mats, no food, no chipmunks, no animals whatsoever in the hair. It's all got to be brushed out. She's never had a chipmunk, don't worry about that. But things live in really matted hair. So we got to make sure we get all of that out. So if your hair is not brushed out or your child's hair is not brushed out, check out my other video, detangle it, get all the mats out, then we do this video. All right, so today we're going to do braids. So we're going to do a braid, a single braid down the back, and then we're going to do a pigtail, and then we're going to do a braid with the pigtail. Okay, so let's get started. First things first, if you've seen my other video on detangling, you will know we need to distract the child. What we're doing today is not going to hurt the child. It should not hurt the child, but still you want it to be a fun experience. For all the professionals out there, mostly the moms or the stylists, they can do a braid like that within seconds, right? So I'm going to be doing it slowly so you can see what I'm doing, but also I'm not a professional. I'm just the average dad trying to help my daughter have some beautiful hair. So we distract. What do? Give them a phone. They'll enjoy that. So here you go, and we shall get started. Okay, so we're all set up. As you can see, we've got a nice head of hair, and what we're doing is just bringing everything over and preferably around the ear and to the back of the head. And what you want to do is just one last check just to make sure that you have no knots and we have a good, clean, unknotted, unmatted head of hair. So we are ready to go. Now, the professional in this house is my wife, and she taught me this little trick. So you get all the hair, you go right underneath, you pull it all the way back, gently of course. You get all the hair and you kind of just let it, and then with 2 fingers we divide the hair. So we go right in and around here, and that creates a nice little separation of the hair. So we go off through there, very good. I'm going to take that over just a little bit. All right, so try and do it as nice and slow for you as possible. And with each group of hair that you have, you might want to just keep it well, you should keep it as tight as possible so that when you're folding over, you have no sort of bunches within the braids, right? So we'll start with the middle one and we'll take it underneath, and that outside one goes over. So we're keeping it nice and firm when we're tugging on it, but obviously not hurting your child. And then we come over with this one. So that first one, when it went over, now we twist it and it goes under, right? And then that outside one now is going to come over. Can we turn around just? There we go. Right, so now that one has gone over, and that's going to come under, and then this one is going to come over. So it's under, over, over, and then over. We're always alternating between the 3. Now, can you come up on your knees? Very good. So it's under, and then under. Turn around this way so we can see in the camera, and we just continue on down. Okay, so as the first one that goes over, and it comes underneath, and that one, that was the last one to move, it goes over and under, and this one comes under. So it might take you a few times to get used to that twisting of the hand and rotating, but because the first time I did it, boy. But after a while, you get used to it, right? And if you've distracted your child, you can take a little bit longer than you need to. But before you know it, you'll have a nice braid. And typically 3 ties, depending on how thick or thin your child's hair is. And then right at the end, just to finish it off, a nice little curl there, and there you go. And as you can see, my child's part and get that hair over. She likes to have a part off center, right? So she has that hanging nicely. So depending on your child, how you want it, you can have it right down the middle. You don't have to have a part at all, and you just take it back and do the braid. Very good. So now we're going to get into the pigtails. Okay, so with the pigtails, whether it's a braided pigtail or not, the most important thing besides making sure that your hair is nicely combed out is you have the part, right? So with the braid, you know how we sort of use the fanged and we put it in to divide the hair into 3 parts? You can do the same thing with your finger, and you find the back of their neck slightly, and so you put it in there and you bring it across, right? And then with your comb, you can just find a part and then just separate the hair. But the better the part, the better the pigtails are going to be. So you want it to be a really predominant part. Now, ours, because my daughter likes to have the part going across one side of her face, ours on the top looks like an angle, right? Others would like it straight down the middle. Totally up to you. Whatever your child wants, you can try and work with that, right? So, but as you can see there, we've got the hair parted nicely. So this side is going to be one, and that side is going to be one. So now we will get into the braiding of, well, first we'll actually make the pigtail, and then we'll get into braiding it after. Okay, so now we're at the side of the head, and what we're trying to do now is just get all of it into a nice ponytail, right? So for the pigtails, typically they come straight out the side as much as possible, but also as evenly as possible. So what you don't want to have is one going out this way and then the other going out that way. You want them to be as evenly as possible from when you look at the child head on, right? So one of the problems that you will have is as you're trying to get as close to the scalp, you get a bit of this bunching up, right? So you kind of work with the hair a little bit, and then you need to comb into your hand, right? So as you comb it into your hand, you try and keep it tight as possible so that the ponytail is nice and firm and all the hairs are close together on the head as possible. So just keep going. Sometimes the hair can be just a bit stubborn. Hence the expression bad hair day. You can have that every now and then. So depending on how the hair is cooperating with you, you just keep brushing it in, but keeping it nice and tight. So once you've got that part all in, all right, okay, good. So now we make sure that it's in the right spot, and as you're tying it in, you can almost guide it a little bit, but you keep it nice and tight. Am I hurting you, kiddo?
Nope.
No. So 3, this is the 4th one. You get it in there, and there you go. So evenly, there's your pigtail come out, right? And then we'll work on the other side, and based on what we've done here, we're going to sort of match it to the same side on the other side, all right? Okay, so now we're on this side, and we're going to do the same thing. We are going to continue to comb it into the hand so that we keep everything nice and tight. Bring it over here. Okay, and then the trick with the second one is to make sure that it lines up nicely with the other one. So as you can see, kind of as we put the tie in, you can kind of guide the hair and the ponytail to hit that spot. And it's going to be somewhat close, I think. There we go, and then we turn around. Oh, actually we'll go this way first. As you can see, fairly even on either side. We come around here, and there we go. We've got your beautiful pigtails. Very good. What do you think?
I love them.
Very good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to braid the tails themselves. Okay? Okay, so now we've done our pigtails. Now again, it doesn't hurt to comb out the hair just one more time just to make sure that we're working with some good unmatted, unknotted hair. Right, so the same thing as before, we get a bunch of hair here, and what we're going to do is going to do the part, right? Because in order to do the braid, we need 3 somewhat even parts, and there you go. So we've got our parts there, and so the same thing as we've done last time, over, that one goes under, this one goes over, under, over, under, and we just keep going. Can you go back up on your knees? On your knees, there we go. So, oh, turn that way slightly, there we go. So over, that one goes under, this one then comes over, that one goes under, over, and under, and you just keep going, right down to the bottom. All right, so once we get somewhat to the bottom, we don't go all the way. Right about there, that should be good. Okay, and then we have our ties. Again, now because we're working with half the hair, obviously you're gonna have to do a few more ties. It's a bit tricky working with less hair, believe it or not, but we just keep going. A little twist. Let me get it in there. Good. So that's nice and tight. And there is your one braid for one of the pigtails. And you comb it out. And then at the end, if you want to make it decorative or colorful or whatever, you can put like a pin with a flower on it or a colorful scrunchie on one side. Right? So then if you turn around, we'll do this right there. And then again, so we give it a nice comb just to make sure there's no knots. We're working with a smooth, unmatted, and then we separate it like that, again with the fangs. We go in, we separate 3 even pieces, take them out. Right, so now we've got our 3 there, and then under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And as we're going down, on your knees now please. As we're going down, you're always keeping good tension on the hair, obviously not hurting the child, but you just want the braid to be nice and tight as possible. Right, so we're going again over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And again, we don't want to go all the way down to the bottom, just a good amount. And then we get our hair tie again, and we tie it up. So probably, so we go in, bend, bend, probably one more time, twist, and go. There we go. All right, and then again we can decorate it with a colorful scrunchie or a hair, whatever you want. And there we go. So we turn it around, and now we've got 2 braided pigtails. How do you like that, kiddo?
I love them.
Very good. So make some comments down below if you want some clarification on something, if you'd like another hairstyle, you want to challenge me to a hairstyle maybe that I've not done before.
That would be great.
Oh, yes. Great for her, of course, obviously. Thanks very much for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos coming up. Thank you very much. Thank you, my lovely assistant.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. Have a good one.